Tara with us today. Tara, thank you so much for the time today. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Macy, and thanks for your interest in what makes BNI so great.
Yeah, of course. So why don't we just dive right into it and you can share just a little bit about what you're doing and how you're helping people.
That's a great question, and I think that's what all of us are trying to do with our businesses is help more people. And what I get to do is I get to help more people, and I do that through digital marketing, advertising, branding, video production, and an array of different services that we offer through my marketing and advertising agency.
That's amazing. It sounds like you're doing like you're a jack of all trades kind of thing. And there's a lot of things inside of that. I think the biggest question that anyone ever has when it comes to digital marketing, social media marketing, et cetera, et cetera, what are some of the common myths that you see that people believe themselves when it comes to marketing?
That's a great question. I think, unfortunately, a lot of people have invested in marketing or advertising that did not have an ROI or return on investment
Mm,
that they were promised. So, one of the things that I come up against the most is people who have spent money on print advertising, radio advertising, commercials on television, and old fashioned, I like to call it advertising, that Mad Men kind of idea of advertising that really just was like a volume numbers game. And thankfully, technology and I've been in this game for a long time, for 18 years actually. My whole career has been dedicated to branding, marketing, advertising, and the solution has evolved and made it so much easier and simpler to connect with your ideal clients. So to answer your question, I think the biggest problem that I see with businesses is they think that marketing and advertising is some sort of magic wand,
mm,
when really it just elevates and supercharges what you already have that's working. So if you already have a business that you're struggling with and you don't have your clearly defined ideal client, you don't have the pain points for those ideal client really outlined, you don't have your offer in a pretty little package so that people can really understand what transformation you're offering them, those key elements are what help us in marketing and advertising. So I find a lot of my clients, I'm actually starting in more of a coaching phase with them to really
mm,
take their vision and develop it in a marketing and advertising way that helps them get in front of their ideal clients. I think a
mm,
lot of people are missing the mark on that. So that's one of the things that I get to overcome is people that have tried a number of things that haven't worked, have invested money in things that just haven't had a return on spend that they can actually, prove basically, and or that they just haven't had clarity in what it is their business does. So what we believe at, at 3D Digital and at Glamazon Global is that it's really important to unlock the extraordinary potential of personal brands. And in order to do that, you need to attract your raving fans to you today. And what that looks like is creating a sales system using some of the tools I mentioned earlier, targeted display advertising, video production, very specific marketing, social media ads are, where it's at. People, I remember I started doing Facebook ads in 2015. 10 years ago now, and you put $1 in, you get $10 out. And due to a lot of we call them upgrades, right? There's been a learning curve around how to, be a part of that advertising gold rush now with AI and all these other things introduced. And I'll finish with answering your question with this. I think one of the things too that people are really concerned about is AI.
mm.
And I have, especially in the marketing world, I have a lot of clients, coworkers, employees, team members that say, I'm really worried about AI. I'm really worried that it's going to take my job. I'm really worried that it's going to do this. I'm really worried. And I always say to people two things. Worry is a low grade form of atheism. So it's a waste of time. Stop doing it. And two, nobody's losing their job to AI. They're just losing tasks to AI, to people
Mm,
that know how to use AI to get the job done.
yeah.
So if you know how to use AI, and we certainly do here, you can actually work faster and smarter and more efficiently and help more people.
Definitely. I really loved what you talked about when you're touching on if you're a business and you don't really understand your target market, right? And you don't understand that avatar, it can be really hard to market because I know we're all business owners. We just want to help everyone who wants to be helped, right? We just want to go out there. We want to change lives. We want to change businesses. And we get so worried about like niching down, that we're like, oh, but we don't want to isolate this person. We don't want to isolate that person. And it's not about isolating, right? It's about finding the person that you gel the most with. Your business helps the most, and you speaking to that. And then these other people that you're worried about isolating, they'll find it as well. And as long as you're making your message so unique and specific that a lot of these people, they'll realize I do have that problem too, even if you weren't directly speaking to them. So I'm so glad that you talked about that. And of course, AI is a big question mark for a lot of people. So it's great to hear you guys are just utilizing AI to make it, I'm sure, easier for you guys as well as other business owners out there.
Absolutely. It is a very valuable tool, like everything,
Hmm.
that can be used to catapult brands. And I love what you shared too about niching, because I don't believe in niches anymore. I believe
Mm,
in and really speaking to your ideal client, because I've been, like I said, in this game for a minute, and marketing based on demographics, for example,
mm,
an age range or a gender or something like that
right.
is not really from an advertising perspective, it's not really going to get you in front of the person that has the pain points, the wants, the needs that your product or service can fulfill for them. So I love that we get to granularly target those people,
Mm.
especially on Facebook ads, Pinterest. I'm obsessed with YouTube ads. I just think YouTube is the greatest thing ever. I'm so glad that we're on YouTube right now. And
Yeah.
and even with podcasting, it used to be only certain people did podcasting, and now everybody that has a message and is willing to show up and do the work and talk about something that someone somewhere might use and be beneficial to them is so cool. So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's just so many great points that you touched upon, and I'm sure we could talk about this for a few more hours because this is honestly, like, for me, this is a fun topic to just talk about getting in the nitty-gritty of what it looks like when it comes to advertising, when it comes to marketing, because I feel like marketing can be really, really fun if you let it. But just to switch gears just a little bit for time, what brought you to BNI? Who was the first person that invited you?
So my friend Sarah, who is the treasurer at the Rainmakers group where I'm a member, and I hold the digital marketing seat at a BNI Rainmakers. We meet every Wednesday at 7:30 near Sunshine Park. And she invited me. She had told me about it a number of times, and it just sounded to me just honestly like a lot of work. I was like, how many one-on-ones? How many, that sounds like a second job. And she says, you know what? Even though you're in marketing and advertising and you see the value in creating sales funnels and all this, there is a huge value in personal relationships and
Mm.
referrals. Those are not just hot leads, those are hot relationships that you can continue to build and grow. So I came to a couple of meetings and I actually shopped around. I went to a couple of different other BNI meetings because I just wasn't feeling it. I like to share this story because I think other people have had these experiences too. Where I was like, I don't know, and just something kind of summoned me back to the Rainmakers. So I went back another time and I just got the bug, and I was like, you know what? I do want to devote myself to getting to know these people, to investing in committing to one-on-ones, and obviously we got to meet at the regional table, these opportunities to meet people locally that, especially as a digital business owner and coming out of the COVID times, I did not have. So I'm so grateful that BNI is an opportunity to continue to meet face to face, to continue to learn about people and what you like, what you don't like, who you want to work with, who you don't want to work with. I mean, I've had that too, and I love the continuing education. I love the structure, and things like that. So, and having a mentor, and I didn't realize I didn't realize what was missing from my life until I
Mm.
joined BNI. And
Yeah.
now I'm so excited to go to those meetings every week.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you mentioned shopping around because I think that's a big part of BNI that people don't always understand. I know there are a lot of people sometimes they hear BNI and they go, "Oh, well, I tried it once, like I went to a meeting and it just wasn't my speed." And fair, maybe it just really isn't your speed and I totally understand and respect that. But sometimes you're not always in the right chapter, you're not visiting the right chapter. And that's why it's not a bad thing to go to other chapters, see how different people run different meetings, and see what type of environment it is, and see which one you really fit and really gel well with. I've visited loads of chapters in the area after becoming a member of the one I'm in now. And it's so interesting to see how different chapters are. And I really love the different ways people are running meetings. So yeah, it's great that you were looking around and you found, I'm sure you met a lot of great people through those shopping around as well before you landed in Rainmakers.
Yeah, and you had a great point too, is after you become a member, then you have all this other autonomy to go and visit other places and even meeting the people that hold the same seat as me in other chapters,
Right.
and saying, hey, is there a way we could work together? Is there a way we could collaborate? I get outreach from people via email, that, hey, I see you're doing this. How are you doing this for your 6-minute presentation? So we're
Oh,
part of not just our group, but like even how you and I connected on the regional roundtable, and you said what you were doing. And I was like, oh, that sounds fun. Like, I would love to talk more with you about that. So
yeah,
I'm so
definitely.
grateful.
I think that's
Yeah.
awesome that people in your seat are reaching out for questions like that. I think it really goes back to the message of BNI being givers gain and being like, how can we work well with each other and not against each other? We all want to see each other win, even when we're technically in what we call like competing seats or something like that. Like I've connected with other types of podcasters in BNI and stuff, and we're always, talking about each other, and they do something different than what I'm doing. So when someone wants something different, I can refer them out. So it's super helpful to have these types of connections and relationships. And I love the way you called it a hot relationship. I think that's a perfect way to explain it.
I mean, I know, and thinking about it now, I'm like, maybe that wasn't the best way to say it, but
I think it's
I
perfect.
like that you approve. Yeah.
Definitely. Hey, it's sometimes it makes it more fun to realize it like that. So, Tara, thank you so much for taking the time, coming on, sharing a few minutes about what you're doing. I think you gave a lot of great insight when it comes to marketing, when it comes to finding your avatar, and as well as BNI as well. So, I really appreciate you taking the time today.
Thanks, Macy. Yeah, appreciate you too.
Of course. And everyone watching, I really appreciate you as well. And I'll see you next time. Bye.